Hi YouTube! Welcome back. It's me, Marshie. So you guys wanted more reactions from Fire Department Chronicles, and we're gonna be watching Where Are They Now series. So let's buckle up and let's dive into it.
What's going on, everybody? Many of you have asked for an update on some of the people featured in the Real Things I've Seen series. So here you go.
Oh God, this guy!
So after all that went down and we all checked the contents of our underwear, we loaded that guy up and brought him down to the hospital where he bought himself some fancy new internal hardware. But the craziest part about that entire call is he forgot everything.
What?
Who am I? And why do I exist? And who made me?
Must be the medication.
Because we gave him for said prior to cardioverting him, he forgot everything leading up to us welding the crap out of him, him wanting to beat the crap out of somebody there that pushed that button, and then transporting him to the hospital.
Maybe it's for the best that he forgot everything.
In fact, halfway down to the hospital, he was asking if we could bring him back to his house because he was completely fine now. And it was on that day that I realized that with enough medication, you can forget anything.
That is so true. With enough medications, you can just live on your life, and ignorance is bliss, okay?
Oh, crap.
Oh, crap. Oh, crap.
Oh.
This dude was another person that should have met whatever afterlife entity you believe in, but instead walked away with a couple broken ribs and a bruised lung. And all because of this guy. The guy that I couldn't depict well enough, sitting at 6'8", 300 pounds, that literally picked up the car with one arm and dragged his meat pancake friend out from underneath and stopped him from remaining a dead, flat human. And on that day, I learned that adrenaline and friendship are the strongest things in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I see so many cases with patients with adrenaline, they do anything. Like, with someone who is afraid of height with enough adrenaline and other medications, that will be on top of the world. The crazy adrenaline does changes people's behavior.
Except for my wife's hate for the peanut butter spoons that I leave in the sink every day.
Oh, I hate that too.
That's really strong.
Oh, this dude. I remember.
Hi. Taters McGee was by far the most interesting patient I've ever ran on and made me question my actual knowledge of the human body for a solid 10 seconds. And by the time we dropped this guy up at the hospital, what they said was going on blew my mind. And that was they had no freaking clue.
You what?
What?
Yeah, that happens so many times that we drop people off at the hospital and we never actually get an answer. Why? Not because the hospital's incompetent, but because they don't actually know what's going on until they run the outrageous amount of tests that they need to run to find out why this patient is direct injecting taters right into their sinus cavities. But unfortunately, that's just a part of the job. So I hope that answered some of the questions that you had, and let me know in the comments which real things I've seen people you want follow up on next. But until then, trying to catch me howling at the moon.
Try to catch me howling at the moon.
All right, part 2.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a very overdue installment of Where Are They Now? And if you're a dude, you might find some of this episode a little bit painful. What's off?
This one!
You know, as a paramedic that's been doing this for a pretty long time, I feel like I've mastered the ability to keep a straight face no matter how horrendous the call.
Nah. See, this is why during the pandemic, we actually appreciate the mask, because you don't know how many faces I was doing under the mask. And then when the hospitals no longer required mask at the time, I'm like, shit, no, they're gonna see my real face judging them. I'm just kidding. But still, like, I also cannot help myself. I'm a really expressive person. That's why I'm a VTuber. I'm just really expressive. So I'm trying my best to be a good actor to keep a straight face. But like, sometimes just really hard too.
Injury is. But when it comes to someone losing a section of their Johnson to a very violent and forceful catheter incident, that's where I tend to lose it.
Yeah.
You see, catheters have a balloon at the end of them, so once they're in place, the balloon can be inflated so it'll remain inside of the bladder and then deflated once it's ready to be removed. But if you forget to deflate, an exploded hot dog is what you'll make. It's truly hard to describe what it's like seeing 4 grown men saying, "There's no way," over and over again.
Oh my God.
None of us could believe what we were looking at. But the good news is, it sounds like they were able to get this guy a full set of twig and berries again, and us as much therapy as...
Twig and berries, I mean, bro, I mean, he kind of needs it, okay? He needs his manhood, okay? Honestly, any nurses that forget to deflate the balloons during catheter, like, bro.
Then why are you covered in blood? My varicose vein exploded. I've seen people shot, stabbed, impaled with 8-foot lightning rods, blade a little bit, but I've never seen someone paint their home like they're the Picasso of
with their blood?
Lube, like someone who's had a ruptured varicose vein. Bam!
Blood everywhere.
You see, the hardest part of controlling a severe varicose vein bleed is you can't just use one tourniquet like you would in an arterial bleed. You need two. One to stop all the arterial blood from coming into the leg, and then another one to stop all the blood that's inside of the leg ejecting out of their varicose vein blowout.
Big summer blowout.
I love the memes.
Thankfully, we were able to control the bleeding, get this guy down to the hospital, and then stare into the endless void, wondering when my leg veins would ultimately betray me, sending me into a lonely death.
Oh, Lord.
The one thing I was told when I was learning about Narcan was never slam it. Why? Well, have you ever heard the phrase, "Oh my God, there's vomit everywhere"? Well, you will if you ever give Narcan too fast. But to be fair, everyone has different reactions when it comes to being given Narcan. And in my experience, most people are pretty chill when they wake up from their opioids.
This is why I always have a backup scrub, because you never know when someone's gonna throw up or pee on you. That's just an average experience as a nurse. Also with shoes, never wear your expensive running shoes. People might literally pee on it.
Sleeping time. But from time to time, you're gonna get the joy of experiencing you and your entire ambulance being doused in whatever they had for their last 3 meals.
Ew!
But I'm happy to report that person was dropped off at the hospital feeling fine, and I went back to the station, burned all of my clothing, and never looked at bologna sandwiches the same again. Hey everyone, and welcome to the third installment of Where Are They Now, and what I believe are the 3 most interesting calls I've ever been on. Yeah, I think I felt something hit my leg. A few? Wait, how many is a few? There are 2 types of people in this world. People who lose their freaking minds the second they feel pain, and then this guy, who was shot 9 times and couldn't have cared less about the 900-mile-per-hour pieces of metal that were shoved inside of his body until he could figure out whether or not his car needed a new slathering of paint.
Priorities,
but honestly,
man.
I've never seen someone handle pain better than this dude did. And then when I found out that not a single one of those bullets hit a major organ or artery in his body when he walked out of the hospital the next day, I knew for a fact that he was certainly the luckiest and probably holiest person walking around on the planet.
All of a sudden, I knew exactly what the bottom of my foot looked like.
So unfortunately, I've seen a lot of crazy crap in my career, including people cut in half and body parts strewn
that I have
over
not seen.
highways. But this was my first time experiencing the thought of, holy crap, I might actually blow chunks all over this road.
I'm going to throw up.
Don't throw up.
Seeing that guy's leg with one more joint than it should have had briefly made me question my career choice.
Terrible.
And definitely made me feel bad for his stupid choice.
Listen, I have had moments where I have questioned my career choices many times. Many times I wanted to quit. And I feel like that's pretty normal. It's part of being in the medical field. You gotta at least question your career choices at least once in your life.
Of sticking his foot out the window. But then one of the police officers showed up for traffic control and clued me in on the fact that this guy was wanted for multiple crimes, including child abuse. And even though my treatment didn't change that day, I definitely wondered, was somebody driving a giant truck of sweet karma that day?
Is this soap bottle American?
Oh God, this one!
So I would love to say that this is the only person I've ever ran on who attempted to explore the nether region with household items. But
you have no idea how many people show up at the ER with the weirdest thing shoved in their rectum. Like one time I saw a hanger, and then the other time a freaking hamster. Don't ask questions. I don't even want to know. People have somehow managed to fit a lot of stuff that you don't think is humanly possible to fit, but they somehow try.
Be lying. In fact, the only thing I'm yet to experience is someone being straight up honest about trying to shove things inside of their back door.
Yeah, just be honest.
Not the back door. not the back door.
Which I truly don't understand, because at the end of the day, no first responder, nurse, or doctor gives a flying crap about what you do on your personal.
What gets me about judging you is you lie about it. It's okay. Like, honestly, what you do in your free time, you do you. Now, if you're telling me, oh, I accidentally sat on a hamster and I don't know how it got there. Now, that part, that lie right there, we will be judging you during our break time.
Time, especially since we are most likely some of the craziest, strangest, and most eclectic humans that you will ever meet.
True.
But the one thing that we can all definitely agree on is the one place things without a flair should never go is your chocolate starfish no-no zone.
Jesus Christ.
We're back
Part
with another
4.
episode of Where Are They Now? And today we might discover some very personal connections with one of the people in the videos. Let's get into it.
Why is he not wearing clothes? He thinks he's a cow, man. Moo.
This guy was actually one of my first interactions with someone who had taken edibles. I mean, obviously I ran on a few people who enjoyed a little bit of the devil's lettuce, which for the most part is harmless and completely entertaining. But when it comes to edibles, they tend to have the highest adverse reactions, simply because of the amount of time it takes to be absorbed and the type of route that it's taking to be absorbed. And for this guy, at first, it left him completely catatonic and looking like he was riding the Milky Highway, and then quickly came to life with a...
You know, I wonder if people have tried to put edibles up their back door. Like, I wonder. I feel like people definitely tried it.
Wonderful yellow liquid surprise and a few well-placed moves.
Moo!
No.
But in the end, we were able to get him down to the hospital where he was completely fine and probably, hopefully, kept the gift of yellow rain going for the ER staff.
Oh my gosh.
Calling himself the Crispy Kris Kringle. Why are there Christmas decorations in April?
This guy was actually one of the calmest trauma alerts I've ever called. When we got on scene, he was acting like he was completely fine, confused at why we were even there, and in fact was refusing to go to the hospital at one point in time.
Oh yeah, that's
All of
right.
this made sense when we realized that he had taken a tumbling nosedive off of a 25-foot tree and landed directly on his face.
Ouch. Oh my
Once we got him
God.
down to the hospital, all of our suspicions were confirmed when they told us that he had a lovely traumatic brain injury, some randomly placed broken bones,
God.
and owed his neighbor a few mortgage payments for saving his life.
Dude, you gotta drive faster. Wait, why?
Haven't
'Cause I'm gonna
seen
crap
this
my
one.
pants.
The sweaty individual, desperately trying not to drop a hot piece of butt fudge into their BDUs, was unfortunately me. It was me! This was at the end of a very long 24-hour shift where I had spent the previous 12 hours with an unexpected colon cleanse because apparently I ate something that my sensitive ginger stomach didn't like. And of course, we caught a late call, which set off the chain of events that led to me begging my partner to drive faster or sweet death.
Hurry!
And I'd love to say that the other two people portrayed in this video hoping that I would crap my pants in the back of the boo-boo bus was an over-exaggeration.
Lord.
But if there's two things I've learned that firefighters love, it's saving lives and ruining them by telling every single person we work with that their fellow brother dropped a deuce inside of their Fruit of the Looms.
Try to catch me howling at the...
Hey everyone, our Where Are They Now
5.
adventure continues today with patients that were seemingly disconnected from reality and one that wanted to disconnect my head from my body.
jeez.
Calm down, you know we're here to help you. Flocka was
this
by
one.
far the craziest street pharmaceutical I'd ever seen people on. I mean, up to this point, I'd seen your normal opioid-induced nap,
Right.
or people screaming at the top of their lungs after their 60th line of booger sugar made their
Oh,
pacemaker
booger
start
sugar,
firing
huh?
off multiple rounds of heart-drilling electrified regrets. But what I had never seen was grown men in their full birthday suits gifted with Olympic-level sprinting abilities like they had after consuming a fresh batch of Flocka.
Jesus.
Running.
And funny enough, what my brain still can't seem to process is why every single one of them was being chased by wolves. Every single one of them.
We're gonna get you, we're gonna get
Which means they're
It's
either being
always
transported to another dimension or we have invisible wolves running around us that none of us flaccid up individuals individuals can see.
Oh.
The good news is, after a fresh batch of Haldol and Valium, they got away from those wolves and took a happy trip up to Cloud 9.
Nice.
Mike, this is Jimmy. Jimmy's blood sugar drops.
Yo.
Have you ever been picked up by another person and thrown across the room like you were a human lawn dart? I have, and it was by this guy.
Jeez.
Low blood sugar can be a very interesting thing. For most people, when their sugar begins to drop off, they become weak, tired, or maybe even unconscious. But not this guy. Somehow this guy's lack of brain sugar caused him to become the insulin-dependent Incredible Hulk. And as a fresh medic, I figured this was my chance to show the world how strong and nimble a ginger stretcher fetcher could be. And then I got blasted across the room like a high-powered fart in the wind. But after some great distraction techniques and very quick darting, we were able to get some glucagon in his arm, his sugar back up, and a lot of ice packs for me.
This one.
Weird. If you want to deposit a butt burrito in your pants while simultaneously looking another human in the eyes, give someone adenosine.
Oh, God.
I pooped my pants.
Adenosine is a medication that we give to patients when their heart rates are too high to hopefully help slow it back down. But it has an incredible side effect of making the entire room smell like backdoor dumplings when you literally watch somebody's heart stop and then pray it starts back up before you have to start giving them the old...
It's like having a staring contest, but everyone is shitting their pants.
Staying alive cartilage cracker. Good news is, though, the medication works 90% of the time, leaving them feeling 1,000 times better and happy weekend.
Let's go.
For the other 10%, they get two things: a sedative and to ride the lightning.
Try to catch me howling.
Heart sick.
Just when you thought we were done, we're back with another Where Are They Now? And today we're going to talk about why peeing on the people around you doesn't make you a better friend.
I smell
No,
bad.
it really
For as
does
long
not.
as I can remember, people have turned to...
I remember watching that shorts and it literally traumatized me. You would think after years of working with patients that pee-pee and poo-poo no longer scare me. No, they still do, to some degree. I'm still traumatized.
Spraying their friends and strangers with golden shower fluid when they get stung by a jellyfish. And I really
Don't
need
do that,
you guys to know
please.
something. It doesn't work.
No!
Shall set you
It might work by ruining your friendship if that's what you want.
free. The reason kidney tears have been raining down upon the victims of jellyfish stings is because the acidic nature of urine should theoretically neutralize jellyfish venom and help reduce the pain. But it doesn't. The only thing that's getting neutralized is the happy memories of sand and waves for the person that just had a run-in with the prehistoric venomous snot rocket and is immediately being replaced by nightmares with the hot asparagus soaked regret that they were just deluged in.
No,
God! But if this ever happens to you, have no fear. Simply soak the area in salt water or tap water between 107 and 113 degrees.
just water, no pee, please. Thank
Which
you.
should help reduce the pain, plus save you a lifetime on therapy bills
Yeah.
and awkward conversations about the time you went wee-wee on me, Mom. See, I got it all under control. What is that ringing? High blood pressure can present in many different ways, like blurred vision, headaches, or like this guy who looked like me after spending 3 minutes in the sun without SPF 5000.
Oh, jeez.
Good news is he was fine, and to say he was lucky would be a gross understatement. You see, after suddenly stopping the medications that he had been on for the last 30 years, his body compensated wonderfully by shooting his blood pressure through the stratosphere and almost taking his ability
Whoa.
to ever eat solid food again with it.
Jeez.
Baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, rib.
Look, I get it. Nobody likes taking prescribed pharmaceuticals every day. I mean, maybe some of them.
I do.
But when a pill might be stopping your brain from blowing a blood gasket inside of your very sealed, very sensitive brain cage, it might be important to continue consuming it so you can continue
That's
using
true.
all of your limbs.
I know, but PB&Js are so good.
This was nowhere near the first or last time I would encounter somebody who filled their belly with Benadryl prior to consuming something they were highly allergic to in hopes that their body wouldn't catapult their consciousness into the next lifetime.
What?
Again, I get it. If somebody took the...
People do that. They take Benadryl before taking something that they're allergic to. Damn. They got a death wish, man.
ability for me to be able to house an entire peanut butter, marshmallow, and bacon sandwich away from me, I'd be upset. But I sure as crap wouldn't risk the possibility of not being able to see the next Fast and Furious installment on it.
You don't turn your back on family.
Severe allergic reactions happen after your body releases abnormally excessive amounts of chemicals, like histamines, into your body after you've eaten or got stung by something. Oh!
Yeah.
And the body's reaction to this can be super unpredictable, from a little tummy pain to laying on the ground looking up at the sky as your airway closes faster than you can say.
That escalated quickly.
And that's why rolling the antihistamine dice ain't worth it, because no amount of all-you-can-eat shrimp is worth drooling all over yourself in the middle of a Red Lobster as you catch an EpiPen to the thigh and question all of your life choices.
That is so true.
Where are they now?
Part
Adventure with
7.
your 3 most requested follow-ups. And I'm gonna leave you with a little piece of knowledge that'll haunt you for the rest of your days.
Okay, so what did you do?
Oh, this guy.
I put some in his rectum.
Bro.
Friends come in many forms. Like a friend that'll loan you $20, or a friend that'll give you a ride without asking for
I do not want a friend that want to stick things up my back door. No, thank you.
gas money, or the ultimate friend that's willing to shove frozen water bricks inside of your dingleberry cave because you took too many opioids.
Ain't no way, ain't no way.
But before I go any further into the story, I want to be very clear about something. Don't put ice in people's butts. Not only is it incredibly stupid and unbelievably dangerous, but completely unnecessary when there's things like Narcan available that don't involve you icing down your friend's guac.
Speaking of ice, there was one time I saw this patient. She went to the ER because she have supposedly stick a frozen carrot in her private area, and of course the carrot will defrost and gave her such a really bad infection. So yeah, moral of the story, just don't stick anything that is frozen. Just, period, just don't stick anything up your body where it's not supposed to. Just don't.
No gusher. Yummy. The very medically unsupported theory that's inspiring people to do this is by stimulating the central nervous system with ice, the overdosing person will regain consciousness and magically begin breathing again on their own.
Right.
Now, yes, he was awake when we got there, and no, we're not sure if it was because of the ice.
No,
but one thing I
ain't no
can't
way.
say for sure is that those 2 dudes didn't make eye contact for the entire ride to
I
the
hope not.
hospital, and I will never look at ice the same way again. My birthday is December 49th, 1812. How long did you say the seizure lasted? Seizures can be extremely scary to experience, especially for the patient, and depending on the type of seizure, once it's over, they can go to what's called a postictal state, which is very normal, but it involves confusion, exhaustion, or in this guy's case, thinking he needed to get back to the open sea to fight some scurvy pirates.
Jesus.
Now, even though all of this can be quite stressful to witness, treating most seizures is relatively straightforward with some benzos and a little O2. However, as I've learned many times in my career, right when you think you got things figured out, you don't.
Of course not. Never
Didn't
easy.
see that coming.
Which is exactly what happened in the middle of our assessment when this guy's sister decided to wrap up her Angry Birds game on his cell phone while someone else blasted their partially digested SpaghettiOs all over the floor. But honestly, I knew this guy was gonna be just fine, and I also knew that once again, I was extremely thankful for waterproof boots and disinfectants.
Like I said before. Jesus, this dude.
I don't think it's possible to describe the smell perforating from a room that contains someone who's having a GI bleed. Well, I guess it would be something like... And to accompany that odor is the general understanding that whatever is causing that lunch regurgitating smell is not good for the continuation of life. Because the general rule of thumb when it comes to blood coming from your skin suit is blood coming from one end of your body is bad. Blood coming from both ends of your body is the beginning of your forever sleepy time.
Very bad.
Now, this gentleman was suffering from something called esophageal varices, which can happen when the veins inside of your esophagus begin to enlarge and bleed because of high blood pressure associated with liver disease. And if the thought of drowning in your own red blood cell pudding terrifies you, it should. The good news is we got him down to the hospital where he got some meds, a couple pints of blood, and was completely
Let's
stabilized.
go.
The bad news
Nice.
is you now know you can die drowning in your own
Oh,
blood.
Lord.
Welcome back to numero 8 of the Where They Now saga.
Number
And today
8.
we're going to talk about everything from mushrooms to getting my boots filled up with human doo-doo.
So you were running to the bathroom while taking your pants
Always
off,
human
then
doo-doo.
tripped and fell.
Yeah, I really don't like to wear anything below the waist whenever I'm on the throne. Imagine this.
Oh,
You're helping a
Lord.
nice elderly man to the bathroom, and suddenly he begins to fall. So you take your leg and shove it in between his legs to brace him, and he says thank you by blasting a rectal fruit shake right down your pants and into your boots. Well, I don't have to imagine that because it happened to me, and I'm still not okay with it.
I am proud to report that besides blasting the doo-doo onto my scrub, I have never had doo-doo within my shoes.
This lovely guy was your standard run-of-the-mill senior citizen that needed a little bit of assistance to the bunghole drainer 3000 to open up some extra room in his internal prune basin. But as I attempted to guide him, gravity had other plans and attempted to shove him to the ground to test his osteoporosis-filled bones.
Lord.
But I said, nay, not today. And then immediately found out what Jerry the geriatric ate for his last 3 meals as he filled my boots with cream of diarrhea. But despite having my lower half repainted with human poo, I still got Mr. Smith to the throne.
Oh,
then
my
sloshed
God.
my way to
Good
a
work
decon
ethic.
shower and never looked at corn the same way again.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened here? We had a little grease fire.
Oh,
so I grabbed
this
a cup
one.
of water and threw it on it.
Which I told him not to do.
And then we had a big grease fire.
I really want everybody watching this video to listen to what I'm about to say because it might save your life, a trip to the hospital,
Okay.
or at a minimum a boatload of money rebuilding the crispy remains of the place that you once called home. If you put water on a grease fire, it's gonna explode!
Yeah, no shit.
Why does this happen, you ask? Well, grease catches fire between 375
Oh,
and 500
Jesus.
degrees in freedom units, which is well above the 212 degrees it takes to boil water. So, when you douse your burgers flambe with H2O, it instantly boils, explodes, and carries flame.
Wait, am I the only one? Whenever there's something new, I always ask Google or ChatGPT. I'm also an adult, but I need adult supervision, you know? So I'm always careful about these things because, like, you never know. It's really unpredictable, okay?
Flaming pieces of third-degree burning, life-altering grease along with it.
Oh, Jesus. See,
So if you do
that's
have
my
to run
worst
into
fear.
the situation, just remember the only way to safely extinguish a grease fire is by smothering it with the lid, a fire blanket, a Class B or Class K extinguisher. Because if you use sugar, water, or flour, you're probably gonna die.
Ugh.
Or, at a minimum, just regret not ordering takeout.
Hello?
I can see everything.
Oh, this dude, man, so high.
Holy pupils, Batman.
I'm Batman.
Oh,
Here's the
jeez.
deal. If somebody's mental state is altered and somebody else calls 911, we are legally required to transport them to a level of equal or higher care. I know, listen,
Fair.
I don't agree with
Fair.
it sometimes either. I mean, especially in this guy's case, where he was just trying to enjoy some of the mind-bending, reality-altering effects of
Edibles.
the mushrooms that he shoved down his throat earlier.
I can't.
Hey.
And what made me feel even worse was this guy was the most chill dude I've ever met, man. And if it was up to me, I would have left him at home to let him enjoy his interdimensional fungi adventure.
Do we have a deal?
But it's not. And the last thing any of us need would be for this guy to venture out into the road, see a yellow punch buggy, think it's a giant Twinkie, try to take a bite out of it, and then end up becoming
God.
one with the road and the
Jesus.
mycelium that he was enjoying so much. So instead, we took a ride down to the hospital in the Band-Aid bus, where he tried to convince me that all the payphones were disappearing, so it'd be harder
Jesus.
for us to get
Bro,
out of the
so
Matrix.
delusional.
Wait.
Drainer 3000. It'll suck the farts right out of your soul.
What? All right, last part for now.
Creepy people in dark rooms, torn testes, and metal
Torn
tasting
testes.
mayhem are the wonderful follow-up stories that fill today's Where They Now episode.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they're broken. But don't worry about that. Just come in here so I can show you exactly what you need to see.
No, thank you.
I think this might be the most requested Where Are They Now follow-ups that I've ever had, and rightfully so, because I can honestly say this is the most scared I've ever felt on a call. And without further ado, here's what happened. So after gathering a couple more people, I was slowly making my way up to the room when...
Okay.
You know what? It'll just be easier to show you.
Oh.
Sir, where are you?
There you are.
Oh my god.
You made
It's like a horror movie.
Yeah, are you ready to go down to the hospital? Uh-huh. But first, can you...
Is he covered in what I think he's covered in? Human doo-doo?
guess what I have?
That's a doo-doo. No, don't throw it in. Don't. Don't!
You want some?
No!
1 second, sir. Get the Versed right now.
Okay.
Wait, have you ever been covered in poop before?
No.
No? Okay, well, you're about to be. And after all that...
Speaking of doo-doo, I was working in this unit full of patients that have dementia. Even before I walked into a room. For some reason, she just started to take off her freaking diaper full of doo-doo, and then she threw at me, and it fell onto my shoes. And for that 1 second, I have thought about quitting. Because I was like, what did I do? I just walked in to try to give her a bath. And she threw a diaper on me, so...
Stinky tussle and a much-needed night-night medication
Lord.
injection. That guy was the happiest caca-chalupa that I've ever dropped off at the hospital. When my berries slipped through the crack of
That's
the
why
chair,
I was
which
wondering.
hurt. So I tried to jump up, but my boys tried to stay behind.
Got detached!
Behind?
Permanently. Panic, fear, and a genuine deep-seated feeling of regret would
my
be
gosh.
the best way to describe this patient's demeanor after almost experiencing
I'm
a
sure.
full separation of his twin boulders from the rest of his body.
Oh my god, I almost died!
And I gotta say, as a fellow family jewel-toting male, the second this guy started describing his genital
family
pouch
jewel,
stretching
man.
brush with permanent castration, I wanted to close my eyes
That's
and
rough.
Happy Gilmore myself out of there to my happy place. I'm flying on a giant seagull in the sky. But unfortunately, part of the gig as a paramedic is listening to things that you hope will melt away from your memory, like this guy's dreams of ever procreating. However, I'm happy to report that besides swelling to the size of a small grapefruit, this guy's gargantuan gonads are still attached
Let's
to his
go. I'm
body and
happy
ready
for
another round
him.
of How Strong Are You Testing? Do you guys taste pennies fumigating?
Oh yeah, dude, I set off like 80 cans in there.
Yo.
Look, firefighting is inherently dangerous. It's something we know when we sign up for the job. Whether it's
True.
dodging cars on the interstate that seem to be dead set on making us their new bloody hood ornament, daily cancer exposures when fighting fire, or
True.
just putting on our gear. That's a reference to recent discoveries that our firefighting bunker gear contains something called forever chemicals that
Whoa.
might possibly be slowly killing us every
What?
time we put it on. Or
No
a
way.
million other ways to die. But we all know the thing that's ultimately gonna take us out is gonna be something stupid. Like face
Jesus.
planting in the shower, or, I don't know, standing outside of a house unknowingly inhaling the flaming remnants of an
Yo.
overly zealous insect genocide project. Now, I'm not sure, but as far as I know, no one's developed a third eye or the
That's
big
good.
C from our
Good to know.
rendezvous with the cockroach melter
Jesus.
5000. But what I do know is we knocked that fire down and saved that pile of sticks.
Let's go.
And then 1 year later, we went back there for an
Oh,
EMS
gosh.
call, and guess what? It still had roaches!
Wow!
Giant seagull onward!
How does it still have roaches? I have so many questions. Holy shit. Let me know in the comment down below what was your favorite story. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.